Hello and welcome to Just a Damn Nerd. Today, we're talking about why Halo Infinite's multiplayer is dying so quickly, to see what we can learn from 343's industry's mistakes, and how they have managed to destroy a game that started off as one of the most popular multiplayer games of all time, with over 20 million unique players, now down to only 5,000 players per hour playing this game. So when you start looking at the cracks in Halo Infinite's foundation, I believe the first crack was cheating. Now, I know what you're thinking. Just a damn nerd. Cheating is in almost every multiplayer game. Call of Duty recently banned 240,000 people. So why is it that Halo would be damaged by cheating while Call of Duty hasn't? Well, that's because, in reality, perception is often more important than fact. You see, after Halo Infinite came out, some huge Twitch streamers started showing how easy it was to cheat at Halo Infinite, because for some unbelievably stupid reason, Halo Infinite shipped without any anti-cheat. Halo the Master Chief Collection uses Easy Bear anti-cheat, a pretty good anti-cheat on PC that's on most games and doesn't really hurt your system too much most of the time, but for some reason 343 Industries chose to not implement this in Halo Infinite. And the problem was, once all these massive Twitch streamers started streaming themselves cheating, almost every major news outlet picked up on this story. So you had outlets like GameSpot and IGN, as well as most big-time video game YouTubers, picking up these stories about how it was so easy to cheat at Halo Infinite. The problem was when the perception becomes that it's so easy to cheat at Halo Infinite, and you have a group of people who play Halo, who play it like it's a job, and are unbelievably good at the game, it becomes really easy for people who aren't so good or just average players to feel like they're being cheated every time they log on. That one guy who goes 28-12, well, an average player could easily start to see him as a cheater, because now whenever they Google the word Halo Infinite, the first thing that comes up is all these stories about how it's so easy to cheat. 343 could have handled this problem far better had they chosen to immediately address the issue. What they should have done was come out and tell everyone that they are sorry about the cheating issue, that they made a mistake and it was an oversight, and that they will add Easy Bear anti-cheat to the PC version. And they should have filed lawsuits against cheat creators like Bungie did with Destiny. This shows your fan base that you're taking the problem seriously. Instead, 343 Industries remain silent. They still haven't added Easy Bear anti-cheat to Halo Infinite, and they really still haven't addressed the cheating problem. I noticed that the other night when I was getting footage for this game. I played a game with a guy who went 38-1. There was no way you're going 38-1 unless you're cheating. So obviously, the issue is still here, and the perception is still here. Next up on this list was a feeling of accomplishment. You see, Halo Infinite de-emphasizes winning. In Halo Infinite, there really isn't any point to actually win. You get no bonus XP, no win-loss counter on your game record, nothing at all for winning. And on top of de-emphasizing winning, they also de-emphasize individual accomplishment, as stuff like kill-death ratio is also not listed on your card. Plus, the points you actually get for killing someone in the match, the 100 points that pops up on the screen, are actually good for nothing. They don't actually progress you through the battle pass, so they might as well just be white noise. They're absolutely pointless. And the problem is, without winning or individual accomplishment really mattering in Halo Infinite, it can become very easy, especially after playing several hundred games, to become extremely bored of Halo. A good example of how much winning not mattering hurts something is just look at the NFL's preseason. You put a great game on TV, like the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs, or New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're going to have massive ratings. But you play that same game in the preseason where winning doesn't matter, and the majority of people are not even going to think about tuning in to watch the game. The problem is, Infinite is essentially an entire preseason. And I know what you're thinking. Damn nerd. There's a rank mode. Yes, there is a rank mode, but nobody really wants to play rank mode because it is a completely different style game. There is no radar when you spawn with battle rifles. And since the majority of your players aren't going to play rank mode, then you still need to emphasize winning in quick matches, big team battle, or other public matches. Now, what 343 could have done and needs to do immediately is re-add in kill-death ratio to your gamer card, and also re-add in win-loss ratio to your gamer card, as well as telling how many games you played, how many games you've won, and how many games you've lost. This will at least help to re-emphasize winning. However, the big issue with winning leads us straight into our next problem, and that is progression and the battle pass. You see, you can't progress through the battle pass in Infinite in any way besides completing the game's useless fucking challenges. And this is the biggest issue facing Halo Infinite, because almost all of Halo Infinite's progression is tied to its battle pass. So if the only way to progress is through the battle pass, but you don't get to progress through the battle pass by winning, playing games, killing enemies, getting assists, or capturing flags, then how the hell do you progress through the battle pass? Well, 343 Industries provides you a very small amount of arbitrary challenges per. You can easily clear out these arbitrary challenges in a day for the whole week if you actually want to. And they're completely and absolutely insane. Because rather than the arbitrary challenges just giving you bonus XP, which is what they should do, or encouraging you to do things like capture flags, get kills, or generally help your team get wins, or just win, instead they encourage you to play specific game types, often game types that most of us don't really want to play, like Tactical Slayer. I'm not saying Tactical Slayer is bad, I'm just saying that the majority of casual Halo players aren't playing Tactical Slayer. And then you want to force the majority of casual Halo players to begin to play Tactical Slayer. This creates even more boredom on top of the fact that they're already not rewarded for winning or getting kills. On top of that, these challenges often include weapons. Again, forcing a more casual player to use a weapon they may not want to or like. Now, on some level, this could be seen as a good thing, as you force people to take the time to learn how to do stuff they might not otherwise do. And this could even work very well if the entirety of Halo Infinite's progression wasn't tied to these challenges. Instead, what 343 should have done is, much like Call of Duty, give you XP for kills, XP for assists, XP for flag captures, and of course XP for actually fucking winning, which is the point of playing any multiplayer game, and then had the challenges on the side, so when you completed a challenge, you would get bonus XP. But instead, 343 didn't do this. Instead, they tied 100% of the progression of the game to a battle pass that cost you $10 to $30, and then you have to jump through a bunch of fucking hoops on top of that. This is a ridiculously stupid way to do your progression, and in spite of many Halo fans telling 343 Industries this was a stupid way to do the progression, and they did not want it, 343 Industries kept the exact same progression model in Season 2 of Halo Infinite. And the damage is obvious. As you can see here, the game had 23,000 players after the new season came out. The next day, it dropped back down to 5. 343 had an opportunity to win back the majority of their players, but instead, they made absolutely no changes to the system that people had been complaining about for months. Next up is the Battle Pass itself. In spite of the time, history, length, and success of the Halo franchise, easily one of the most successful video game or entertainment properties on Earth, 343 seems almost contemptuous of Halo's past, unwilling to bring back cosmetics from Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, or Halo Reach. Instead, choosing to bring in new cosmetics that often look very cartoony and very childish, continuing the obvious decision to market to a early teenage audience with Halo games, which really doesn't make a lot of sense. That'd be like if South Park was still telling poop and fart jokes today rather than being political satire? Why try to find a new audience when you already have one? It doesn't make sense. It's some of the same mistakes that Disney's made with Star Wars. Rather than marketing to the original audience, they're attempting to market to a new child audience and missing the mark big time. And 343's Battle Pass definitely is lacking in worthwhile cosmetics. Most of the great cosmetics for Halo Infinite you have to buy separately. Like in Infinite's most recent Battle Pass, there really isn't anything interesting till you get over 50. So now you have a game with a broken progression system, no sense of accomplishment or victory, and a Battle Pass fans hate. And if that potent cocktail of losing a player base wasn't enough for 343 Industries, they also have added sheer hubris on top of it. I made a whole video talking about how Halo Infinite Season 2 Lone Wolves is a complete trash can fire. And this is a continuation of the dumbasses at 343 Industries who have completely failed in their job managing this franchise because of 343 Industries hubris. I'm not going to get too much into that here, but I am going to mention it just a little bit. You see, 343 has taken basically no feedback from the community. None. In spite of the community's repeated complaint about stuff like color being tied to specific armor cores, or the fact that you can only use helmets with specific armor cores, or the fact that your gun skins only work with specific guns, or the majority of the color combinations are locked unless you pay real money for a game that also has a battle pass. In spite of these complaints, 343 Industry has just absolutely and completely ignored them, instead continuing to push on with their absolutely tragically broken model. You see, 343 Industries actually has killed Halo Infinite's multiplayer. I do not know if they will have another chance when Season 3 comes out to recapture their fans. At some point, the fans are gonna stop coming back and go on to play something else. For example, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, made a video about that as well, comes out in October, meaning a lot of people are going to go play Modern Warfare in October. If 343 Industries hasn't fixed their issue by that point, even the small number of players they still have could drop down to a point where it's barely even worth supporting this game any longer. There has been no movement in 343 Industries' entire history that makes me think this company is even the slightest open to the fans' opinion, feedback, or what the fans believe. The majority of what they've done in the time since Bungie stopped managing this franchise is simply tell you to go fuck yourself if you don't like what they're doing. You don't like the Halo TV show? Fuck you. You don't like the progression in Halo Infinite? Fuck you. You don't like the Battle Pass in Halo Infinite? Fuck you. And that's all 343 Industries has done in the entire time managing this franchise. They have handled the public perception element of running a major company so badly that I believe Microsoft could literally give Halo to any one of their other 30 studios, and they would get massive cheering from their fan base. 343 has become very antagonistic with its fans and has failed to listen to what people think, which is why a game like Halo Infinite, with excellent graphics, fun gameplay, entertaining maps, and an addictive gameplay loop, is dying only a few months after it came out, because 343 has failed to capitalize on the opportunity they made for themselves. And because of that, Halo will most likely be dead by this time next year. And that is a tragedy. Well guys, thanks for watching this video. As you guys know, we're a fairly new channel. As you guys already know, please like, share, subscribe, especially subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. I got tons up by now. I got a series on this channel we call Versus, where we pit two games against each other to see which one comes out. I try to be as unbiased as possible in that. So even in cases where I might like a game better, I try not to give it preferential treatment because that's not really fair. We got other videos talking about Halo Infinite, talking about the TV show, reaction videos to most of the stuff at E3, a top 10 worst games of Game Fest 2022. I think that one's hilarious. Even if you guys don't agree with my picks, I think you'll still find that video funny. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please come back to Just a Damn Nerd in the future. And as always, this is the Damn Nerd signing off.